Hello, class. Today, we're going to introduce our first type of question, the uptake question. What is an uptake question? Let's take a look at a video and get some explanation.
Hi everyone. I am Miss M. Nice to meet you. Today we are going to talk about uptake questions. An uptake question asks about what someone else said or asked previously. In order to ask a good uptake question, it is important to listen carefully to what others are saying. Now let's listen to a conversation between Helen, Taylor, and Jason as they discuss Helen's trip to Washington, D.C.
Our trip to Washington, D.C. was fabulous. We visited the Museum of Natural History and the Lincoln Memorial.
Oh, I like the Museum of Natural History a lot. What was your favorite part of the museum?
I liked the dinosaur part. I watched a movie called Jurassic Park and always wanted to see models in person.
I also visited the Museum of Natural History. I think the bird section is awesome because some birds do not live here and we can see birds from other parts of the world in the museum. Helen, do you think the dinosaur model you saw in the museum is different from the one in the movie?
That is a good question. Most of the models in the museum are just dinosaur skeletons, and they do not move. The dinosaurs in the movie are alive and you can see how they move.
Exactly. Do you think it is possible for the dinosaurs in the museum to come to life like in Jurassic Park?
I thought about that when I watched the movie. I think someday scientists will use DNA to bring the dinosaur back.
That would be scary.
That would be interesting. But I don't think that will ever happen.
Wow. That is really a good conversation about Helen's trip to Washington, D.C. Do you agree? Taylor and Jason asked free uptake questions. Taylor asked Helen, "What is your favorite part of the museum?" After she talked about her trip previously, Jason asked Helen, "Do you think the dinosaur model you saw in the museum is different from the one in the movie?" After she talked about the movie, at the end, Taylor asked if dinosaurs could come back to life after Helen talked about how museum dinosaurs were different from the dinosaurs in a movie. Fabulous job!
So, do you have a better idea now? If you're still not sure, let's take a look at this slide and read one example. The girl says, "Our trip to Washington, D.C. was fabulous. We visited the Museum of Natural History and the Lincoln Memorial." Then the boy asks a question based on her words. "Oh, I like the Museum of Natural History a lot. What is your favorite part of the museum?" This is a follow-up question, and this is what we call an uptake question. Let's read another example. "I watched a movie called Jurassic Park and always wanted to see models in person." Another student then asks a follow-up question. "Helen, do you think the dinosaur model you saw in the museum is different from the one in the movie?" Based on Helen's words, the boy wants to know more about Helen's thoughts on the dinosaur, so he asks an uptake question. Helen then responds, "Most of the models in the museum are just dinosaur skeletons, and they do not move. The dinosaurs in the movie are alive, and you can see how they move." This response is followed by another uptake question. "Do you think it is possible for dinosaurs in the museum to come to life like in Jurassic Park?" So here we have 3 examples of uptake questions. Do you have a better idea now of what an uptake question is? An uptake question is a follow-up question that asks for a person's further thoughts. And uptake questions are a kind of authentic question, which we just introduced in Lesson 1. Now, let's do some practice. This is a question tree. We just said that an uptake question is one type of authentic question. In other words, this type of question comes from what you read or listen to. So, this type of question can have more than one answer. A response to this type of question can be supported by various reasons or evidence. So, in this example, you're listening to Helen's personal experience about the field trip. One student is interested in her experience, so the student asks uptake questions. Helen can give more than one response to the student's questions, and she offers reasons for each response. Let's practice.